Hey guys, so today we have two items to unbox together from the Louis Vuitton 2022 holiday collection featuring their mascot Vivienne. So this is the very first year I ever bought from the holiday collection because I'm normally not the one to pay the premium to get these cute illustrated little goods, but this year I had my reasons, which I'll share with you after I show you the items. And these were definitely not planned purchases, so they were a little bit impulsive on my part. But again, I have my reasons why this year was quite special to me. And if I was gonna get any holiday collection items from Louis Vuitton, it was gonna be this year for the reasons I'm gonna share with you after I show you what I bought. Also, these items normally sell out really quickly, but this year they still have a lot of available items, especially the higher priced ones, and I suspect that it has something to do with the crazy price increases. So a lot of people aren't comfortable spending that kind of money on such small items. So this year I found that the super little items that are still well priced, like the card holder, the key pouch, and the passport holders, sold out really quickly. But when it came to things like mini pochettes, the zippy wallets, the larger items that had really crazy price increases in the last couple of years, they are still available, and I couldn't really believe it. But I also could see why people didn't snap up these larger items as quickly as the other years. And I guess I am that sucker who paid the crazy price for one of the items. But anyway, we're gonna get into all of that. So let's open the small box first, because this is the item that I am most excited about, and I just had to get this. So I think there are only two items that will be this small in this entire holiday collection this year. Ta-da! I picked up the flat card holder in the Seoul illustration. This year, they actually had Korea as one of their countries. So each year, Louis Vuitton does their holiday collections and picks a few different cities around the world and puts them on a few selected little small leather goods. And this year, they had Korea, Seoul featured in one of their prints. And when I found out that they had Korea, and I think it is the first time they ever featured Seoul, I just had to get something because I'm Korean. And of course, that really sucked me into it. And I especially love the card holder because it is so darn cute. If I show you up close, that is the Maison store in Seoul, the Louis Vuitton Maison store, which is so beautiful. You have Vivienne, who is LV's little mascot, wearing her little loop bag, and then you've got a traditional looking temple with the yin and yang, which forms the middle part of the Korean flag. I just absolutely love all of the details, and also the little cherry blossom tree there. It just really made my Korean heart so happy, and I absolutely love the hot pink color as well. It just pops. And I don't actually have a flat card holder in my collection anymore that is this compact, and these card holders are still relatively well priced. This was 475 Australian dollars, which was just a little bit more than their regular monogram card holders. So I know a lot of people buy these as collectibles, but I think I'm actually going to use this as a card holder whenever I want to use a very small mini bag. And like I said, these smaller, more reasonably priced items were a lot harder to get this year. So I really had to hunt this down, and I think it's completely sold out now. I'm really happy that I had a piece of Seoul holiday illustration little leather good. And now let's get into the larger box. I actually bought this one first. The other item I got from the holiday collection is the mini pochette in the beautiful Paris print. So this year they went with the Vendôme Paris store, which is one of their large maisons in Paris. And you can see the Vendôme, and Vivienne is on her little bike wearing a Noe bag, and the Paris print came with the more subtle pink color leather trim, and the interior, it is a much lighter pink than the hot pink with the Seoul one. Now I know that these mini pochettes are absolutely ridiculously priced at the moment, and I do have two other mini pochettes in my collection. One damier ebene one that I bought years ago, I think about 8-9 years ago, that I only paid, I believe, 350 Australian dollars for, which I still use to this day. And then when the prices started going up and these mini pochettes were really hard to find, I bought myself a backup in the plain monogram about 2 years ago before the crazy price increase, which I ordered and had to wait about 6 weeks to receive. That one I bought at 485 Australian dollars, which was the retail price at the time. And since then, these mini pochettes have become so crazy expensive. At the moment, just a plain mini pochette in a monogram is 1,080 Australian dollars. I know, crazy. So I was really happy that I had a backup because my Demier Ebene one that I had for about 10 years was starting to show a bit of wear and tear, and I wanted another one because I do find these little mini pochettes such great pouches to use in your bags daily as a little catch-all for your lip glosses and whatnot. When I saw the prices went up to over 1,000 Australian dollars, I started noticing that these mini pochettes, which was so hard to find, that were always out of stock, now started just being in stock. And when you go into a boutique, you can actually see them readily available, which can only mean one thing, that people aren't really buying these mini pochettes as much anymore. So the holiday illustration one is $100 more. So this one's 1,180 Australian dollars, which is ridiculous. But I believe before the prices were much better with the mini pochettes, there was a much bigger difference between the regular mini pochette and the holiday illustrated one. So say when I bought mine 2 years ago, the regular one was $485. And I believe that year, the holiday illustration was around 700 and something Australian dollars. I remember thinking it was about $300 more. Correct me if you remember the prices. But anyway, this year, at least it felt like the holiday illustration one was less ridiculous than the regular monogram one because the difference is much smaller now. And the other thing is, we went to Paris as part of our honeymoon this year, and when I saw this was available, I just had to get it. And I don't know if I'm ever gonna buy into the limited edition holiday collections in the future. I may never, because I was never that person who really looked for these items. To be frank, I always thought that they looked a little silly and they looked really childish, and I never was into them. But there were two prints that really sung to me this year, one from my own motherland and one from Paris, which we visited this year on such a special trip. And any of the previous years, I probably couldn't even get my hands on the Paris holiday mini pochette when the prices were more reasonable. So the fact that it was more readily available at the crazy prices kind of was probably the only reason that I even got my hands on one. Anyway, that is my little purchase. And I also always wondered who this Vivienne was. So I actually asked one of the sales associates who came up with this Vivienne, and she told me the backstory, which I never really heard about on any YouTube videos, which I thought was a really interesting story. So apparently years ago, I think the company CEO or someone very important at Louis Vuitton went to visit the artisans who kept talking about Vivienne, which stands for a type of leather, and we know it in the luxury community as the vachetta leather, which is that light beige leather that Louis Vuitton uses a lot on their monogram pieces. So apparently the abbreviation for the proper full name for that leather is VVN. So the artisans kept referring to this leather and talked about this leather and kept saying Vivienne, Vivienne. So the CEO or whoever was visiting was like, who is this Vivienne? Must be a very important person. And that is how Vivienne was born. So let me show you on this one. If you have a look at Vivienne, she is made up of all the quintessential features of a Louis Vuitton trunk. So her hair is inspired from the flower, the fleur-de-lis from the monogram print. Her body color represents the timber that they use a lot in their trunks. And then her arms are the key bells, and her eyes was something as well. I just thought it was so cute. And apparently Vivienne got married this year, and they had a whole celebration, had a whole collection from Vivienne's marriage. So I thought, I got married this year and I went to Paris, and I'm Korean and I've been to Seoul twice this year. If I'm not getting the holiday illustration collection pieces this year, so if I'm ever gonna get any Louis Vuitton holiday illustration pieces, it has to be this year for so many sentimental reasons. So that's basically what happened, the reasons why I picked up these items that I would never really normally consider. And you guys know that I like to keep a sensible collection, so I don't normally do this many unboxing or haul videos back to back because that is not generally my purchasing behavior. I do generally space out my purchases a little more, but I've just been to Paris and the holiday collection from Louis Vuitton this year just really was perfect for me. Anyway, I want to know if you guys bought anything from the holiday collection this year. Please do share in the comments below if you did, so that I don't feel so alone purchasing these items at such inflated prices, and let me know which pieces you picked up. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending some of your precious time with me today, and I can't wait to see you again soon in my next video. Bye guys!